So as we kind of talked about in many of the episodes from the first season, The Critic was quickly axed by ABC midway through its third season in 1994, when it was revealed quickly that the show really didn't fit into the network schedule like they had originally intended it to. It was basically their attempt to try to create their own Simpsons. Unfortunately, they didn't have the shows for The Critic to work around with, and they basically just put them with the different family comedies they had on there that didn't really fit the mold of what they were trying to do. So shortly after that, Fox decided to pick the show up for a 10-episode second season that would begin after The Simpsons did a crossover / shameless plug episode, whatever you want to say about that, with A Star Is Burns, which I talked about yesterday. I'm going to go check that out. I'll have a link to it in the corner. Bottom line, it's still a classic funny episode, despite what Matt Groening says about it. But after that, The Critic was reborn on Fox on March 5th, 1995, as Sherman, Woman, and Child marked the first episode of the new season. Show creators Mike Reiss and Al Jean wrote the script, Brett Howland directed it. And in the story of this episode's first second season outing, Jay worries that he might be fired due to coming attractions' low ratings and Duke suddenly being nice to him. He then befriends a single mother from the South named Alice, played by Park Overall from Empty Nest, and develops feelings for her. However, Alice's adulterous country singer husband, Cyrus, played by Sam McMurray, who you may remember from the Tracy Ullman Show. He's also been in a bunch of other roles, such as on Christmas Vacation, Addams Family Values. A great character actor. He returns and wants her back. And you can see right away, if you look at the show closely, there are a lot of noticeable changes, starting with the animation. While in the first season, everybody kind of looked a little bit more realistic while still animated. Here in the second season, the characters look a lot like characters you would see on The Simpsons, with much more wider eyes, more distinctive personalities to each of the characters as a whole. They also try to make Jay Sherman seem softer and less unlikable to appeal to most people in the first season. You know, season 1, he was kind of seen as a pariah or a monster, which is why they essentially gave Jay a new girlfriend, and Alice, who I really think she does bring a lot of energy to the show. I'll get to her in just a moment. But some people would look at that decision and say that the show was kind of pussying out and playing it safe for families to come in and watch the show, which seemed like that was the plan for ABC the whole time. But but there you go. However, the series never really dropped in quality even after all these changes. Yeah, the second season couldn't be seen as kind of a semi-soft reboot as well as the first episode for anyone jumping in. They do a good job of summarizing the series up pretty quickly, so it doesn't feel like it's taking too much of your time to recap everything. Like, you can get suckered in right away to what's going on, who Jay Sherman is, what kind of a person he is, what kind of a world he lives in. And like I said, they did a pretty good job of summarizing everything up pretty quickly, so it doesn't feel like it's giving you just another reintroduction to everything all over again. The episode itself, overall, is a really solid episode. I love the chemistry between John Lovitz and Park Overall. I really like the character of Alice because I like the idea that, hey, you know, Jay finally has somebody he can relate to and actually be someone that they have good chemistry with. And I also like her daughter in this, played by Russi Taylor. She adds a lot of great energy to it, and she's not like the typical kid character who's just there to be cute and all that. She actually does have a lot of the really good, funny moments within the second season. They also do a pretty good job of combining the comedic moments and the more serious moments, along with keeping what makes the show so special. I do like that Jay doesn't automatically want to hook up with her right away. I like that they're building the relationship as the episode goes along. And at first, he really wants to help her out because she's in a tough situation with her living situation. And, you know, they both find a way to compromise their situations. Like, Jay gives her a job as her assistant, and in return, she has to help him reestablish his character because he's about to get fired. And they do it pretty quickly. They give this new, refreshing look to him. The ratings go up, and then all of a sudden, his job is safe. And again, I like the way that they build the relationship up in this episode. It's not just straight up that Jay wants to marry this woman right off the bat. Like, they really do establish the relationship in this pretty well. And I think they do a pretty good job of handling that. I like the way that they're building the relationship up and not just saying straight up that these two are eventually going to get together, which in a way they kind of do, but I like that they're not going straight to it. Like, I like that they're building it up as the season goes along before these two really can admit to each other. They do really love each other, and I like the way that that's being established. The parodies, once again, are still great. They start you off right with the get-go with a couple of really good parodies of A Few Good Men, Nightmare Before Christmas, and maybe the funniest Dennis the Menace parody you will ever see. This title has been teased about all the time in the first season, but to actually see the movie Dennis the Menace to Society in real life is just pitch-perfect comedy.
What do you want? That kid is a pain in the ass.
I mean, it's absolutely hilarious stuff. And really, the great comedy is still there. The great animation is still there. This is still a fantastic first episode back, and it starts the second season on a very good note. And it gets you prepared for what these next 9 episodes are going to bring you, with the hope that they were going to continue the series. But as we'll find out eventually later on, that was not quite the case. But you go along with it for now, and you really find a lot to admire about this particular episode as they start a new season, softly rebooting kind of everything, and getting you back into what makes the show so special.
Excuse me, sir. The show's over.
Get away, zitface.